Welcome to the Whiskers Sanctuary. I'm Scott, and I'm really glad you're here tonight. If this is your first time here, this is a place where you don't really have to do anything. Just settle in, listen, and let the story carry. There's a cat at the center of each story, keeping watch, resting, and wandering through quiet places in the night. Tonight's story is called The Cat Who Watched the Forest at Night. It's about a cat sitting at the edge of a quiet forest, completely at ease with everything around it. Still, grounded, and at home in the dark in a way that I think you might recognize. I created these stories because I know how hard it can be to shut your mind off at night, and I wanted to make something that actually helps. I hope this story helps you rest tonight. I'll hand you over to James now. Just close your eyes and let the story begin.
Take a slow breath and let it go completely. And another, if you'd like. Not to do anything with it, simply to feel the body settling a little further into wherever it's resting. The weight of you against the surface beneath you. The temperature of the air, the particular quality of the quiet around you right now, all of it simply received, simply allowed, simply here. Tonight, we are going somewhere that is alive, but with the steady, unhurried aliveness of a world that has been going about its business in the dark for a very long time and knows exactly what it is doing. The edge of a forest, where the open land ends and the trees begin, where the sounds of the night are richest and the dark is deepest, and the air carries everything the forest has been breathing all day. And at that edge, sitting very still in the way that only a cat can be still, not tense, simply present, simply aware, simply completely at ease with the living dark around it. A cat is keeping its quiet vigil, and the night breathes through the trees. The place where the open land meets the forest is different from either of them. It has its own quality. Neither the open sky of the field nor the enclosed dark of the trees, but something between them, something that belongs to both and to neither. The grass here grows differently, reaching toward the edge of the light with a kind of purposefulness that grass in the middle of a field does not need. The air moves differently, carrying the warmth of the open land and the cool of the trees in the same breath. The smell of grass and earth and something deeper, the particular rich, dark smell of the forest floor, of leaf mold and moss, and the long, slow decomposition that is also the long, slow creation of everything that grows here. The forest is not silent. It has never been silent, not in the way that rooms are silent or libraries are silent. The forest at night has its own language, the soft percussion of insects whose sound has been continuous since before the sun went down and will continue until long after it rises. A texture of sound so constant and so even that it functions less as noise and more as the forest's own breathing, the audible quality of a living system at rest. Somewhere deeper in the trees, something moves. A small sound, a brief disturbance of leaves, and then silence, and then the insect sound continues as before. The forest acknowledges its inhabitants and returns to itself. It has been doing this all night. It will do it all night, and the night breathes through the trees. The cat sits at the very edge, its body upright, paws together on the cool earth, tail wrapped loosely around its feet, in the particular posture of a cat that is present without being tense. aware of everything in its field without being activated by any of it. Its ears move independently, each one tracking its own quadrant of the dark, gathering information without urgency, the way a cat's ears always gather information, completely, passively, as naturally as breathing. It has been sitting here for some time already. The earth beneath its paws is cool and slightly damp with night dew, and the cat has registered this and found it acceptable, the way the cat finds everything here acceptable, because everything here is simply what the forest edge is at night, and the cat is at home in what this place is. Its weight settles evenly through its paws, steady against the earth. The cat watches the forest the way it watches everything it trusts. Its body remains completely still, but not rigid, simply balanced, without urgency, without any particular thing to look for, simply open, the eyes receiving what the dark offers, which is not much in the way of clear shapes, but which is enough in the way of movement, of depth, of the particular quality of darkness that shifts as eyes adjust to it. The trees nearest the edge are visible as darker shapes against a slightly lighter sky, their trunks upright and patient, their canopy moving in small waves when a breath of air moves through. The trees further back are less defined, their edges blending into the general dark, the forest becoming less a collection of individual things and more a single continuous presence the further the eye goes. A sound comes from somewhere to the left. The cat's left ear rotates toward it. A single smooth movement, unhurried, the ear arriving at its new orientation and staying there for a moment, receiving. Whatever the sound was, something small moving through the undergrowth, a branch settling, a moth landing on a leaf, it does not repeat. The ear returns to its forward position. The cat does not move its body. The information has been received, evaluated without conscious evaluation, and filed in the category of everything else that belongs to this night and this place and requires nothing in response. The forest continues, the cat continues, and the night breathes through the trees. The cat's tail moves once, slowly, the full length of it shifting in a single lazy arc across the earth behind it, and then goes still. Not a questioning tail, not a tail signaling anything to anyone. Simply the movement of a body that is deeply relaxed and alive to that relaxation. The kind of small involuntary movement that happens when tension is so thoroughly absent that even the parts of the body usually given to expressing it have nothing to express and move simply because they can. Because movement at this depth of ease is just another form of rest. The cat's posture, which has been upright since it arrived, has begun to soften almost imperceptibly, the spine carrying its own weight a little more loosely, the head angled fractionally lower, the overall shape of the cat becoming slightly less like a creature attending and slightly more like a creature simply being. The sounds of the forest have changed, not the sounds themselves. They are exactly as they were, the same insects, the same occasional movement deeper in the trees, the same breath of air through the same leaves. But the way they are received has changed. What arrived earlier as distinct sounds, individual things to be noted and assessed, have settled into a single continuous texture. The way music heard from another room ceases to be individual notes and becomes simply the quality of the air in the space between you and it. The cat no longer tracks the sounds separately. It simply receives the forest as one thing, one living, breathing, entirely unthreatening thing, and rests within that reception the way it rests within the cool of the night air, without resistance, without commentary, without any need for it to be different than it is. The cat's front legs have bent slightly at the elbow. A small change, barely noticeable, but it carries the full weight of a body that has been upright long enough and has begun, without deciding to, the long, slow process of lowering. The chest is fractionally closer to the earth than it was. The head is lower. The posture that said attending now says something softer, resting while present, aware without effort, the particular quality of ease that belongs to creatures who have been in a place long enough to have become part of it rather than visitors within it. The cat belongs to this edge. It has always belonged to this edge. The forest knows it, and the field knows it, and the cool earth beneath its paws knows it, in the way that places know the living things that return to them. And the night breathes through the trees. The air moves through the canopy above in a long, slow wave. The sound of it arrives before the feeling of it, a soft rushing that builds from somewhere to the left and passes overhead and continues to the right, the whole forest moving in one direction for one moment and then settling again. The cat's eyes close briefly as the air reaches it, not from any startlement, simply the natural closing of eyes when something cool and clean moves across the face. The same closing that happens when warmth is felt, or when something pleasant arrives without warning, and the body receives it by going briefly, completely still. The eyes open again. The forest is exactly as it was. The cat breathes in the air that the forest has just breathed out, and the exchange is complete, and the night continues, and the night breathes through the trees. The cat lowers itself to the earth. The coolness of the ground meets the warmth of its body, and both settle into each other. Not all at once, in the gradual way of a body that has been moving toward this for a long time, and has simply arrived without any single moment of decision at the place where lowering is what happens next. The front legs fold first, the chest following them down until it meets the cool, damp earth and rests there, the weight of it accepted without comment by the ground that has been receiving the weight of living things since long before the cat arrived tonight. Then the head, eventually coming to rest on the folded paws. The tail, which has been loosely wrapped, adjusts slightly. And the cat is low now, close to the earth in the way that things are close to the earth when they have given themselves to it. When the distinction between the body and the ground it rests on has become a matter of degree rather than kind. The forest continues all around it. The insects, the occasional movement, the breath of air through the leaves, all of it continuing exactly as it was before the cat arrived, and exactly as it will continue after the cat is gone. The cat does not diminish this by being here. It does not add to it either. It simply occupies its small portion of the edge. One warm, still breathing thing among the many warm, still breathing things that inhabit this boundary between the open and the closed, the known and the deep. And the forest receives it the way it receives everything, which is without distinction, without preference, any awareness of the difference between one living thing and another. And the night breathes through the trees. The cat's eyes have half closed, resting at the angle that belongs to the very edge of sleep. Not watching exactly, not sleeping exactly, simply present at the boundary between the two, the way the cat is present at the boundary between the field and the forest. Both at once, neither fully. The sounds of the night continue to arrive, and the cat continues to receive them. But the receiving has become something so passive and so complete that it no longer resembles wakefulness. It resembles, instead, the way the earth receives rain, not by doing anything, simply by being open, simply by being here, simply by having the nature of a thing that receives. The cat's breathing has slowed to match the forest. Each breath as unhurried as the wind through the canopy, as steady as the insect sound, as continuous and as unremarkable as everything else that breathes here tonight. The cat's body is warm against the cool earth, and the earth is taking that warmth slowly, and between the two the exchange continues. Warmth for coolness, the animal for the elemental, the living for the ancient, until the difference between them has softened to something that can barely be called a difference at all. And the night breathes through the trees. The cat is part of the forest edge now, no longer separate from it, not metaphorically, simply in the way that any still warm thing that has been in a place long enough becomes part of it. The earth has taken its shape. The air moves around it as it moves around everything else at the edge. The insects continue their sound without regard for the sleeping cat, which means they have accepted it as part of the soundscape the way they have accepted the trees and the grass, and the particular quality of this particular night. The cat is here. It has always been here. It will be here tomorrow night and the night after, and the forest edge will receive it every time with the same quiet, absolute indifference that is also the same quiet, absolute welcome. The stars move overhead in their slow arcs, too slowly to be seen, only felt, the way the turning of the whole night can be felt when you are lying still enough and have been still long enough. The cat is that still. It is not watching anything now. Watching has become indistinguishable from simply being here, which requires closed eyes and slow breath, and the complete surrender of the body to the earth beneath it. And the night breathes through the trees. The forest breathes. The cat breathes with it. The earth holds the cat. The trees hold the dark. The dark holds everything. And the night breathes through the trees, and the insects sound on, and the leaves shift softly, and the cat is here, at the edge of everything, and completely at rest. And the night breathes through the trees, and the breathing continues through the dark, through the trees, through everything, as it always has. And somewhere nearby, perhaps in your own quiet room, you may feel it too, that same aliveness around you, steady and unhurried and completely safe. The night breathing through everything, and you at the edge of sleep, the way the cat is at the edge of the forest, present, and then less present, and then simply resting all the way down.